Hey there, Taurus. Welcome to your reading for this week. You start with this Grand Symphony card and this Deep Breath card. The Grand Symphony card is very good. It says that kind of like everything is adding up in your life or you're about to have an achievement. And we have the world right here. And the world is definitely an achievement or completion coming in for you, so that looks very good. It has been a week of, taking a deep breath. So I would say if you need to take a deep breath, then I definitely would, especially if you're watching this early. If you're watching this around now, then, that full moon energy we're having around this time is definitely, kind of hitting a little bit different, Taurus. So, if you need a break or if you need to rest, relax, recover with the Star card here, then I feel it would be a great time to carve out some extra time to do that. And again, that seems to be true for everyone. You start with the Two of Wands. The Two of Wands is about taking the lead and, needing to take the lead. It's also a card of progress. I just kind of feel progress for you here. Sometimes I feel like the Two of Wands is a little bit of a stuck card. It's not a bad card, but he's in a comfort zone. But I don't actually feel that for you. So, again, I feel that you are just kind of in this position in your life where you are ready to take the lead on your world. He is holding the world in his hand, and you have the world right here, so there's clearly something that you are trying to accomplish or something that you are wanting to accomplish. It's also pretty interesting you have the Judgment card here. It's almost like, Judgment and Star I look at as kind of like double purpose. The Judgment card is you understanding your purpose. The Star card is working towards your purpose. This isn't like accurate tarot, right? But the Star card is kind of like having a North Star, like having at least the vision necessary to start working towards it. So I feel really good about this. You could be, creating a new world for yourself or, creating kind of like a position for yourself. We even go from the Ten of Pentacles to the Star, which is even better, because the Ten of Pentacles is also your vision building, leaving a legacy. But to be able to do that, you have to have the vision, right? And so I feel a lot of you are either developing a vision, or you already have it on what you want your life to look like. And, the world is a good card, but I think sometimes the world says that we have to make changes in the world that we are in right now to get the better world. And I kind of feel like that's where you're at. Because you have the King of Wands. The King of Wands is all about action. He is, he's also about being confident, courageous, bold, assertive, really going for what you want, and really creating what you want as well. So I think it's a great time to do that. It's a very visionary time. And, the King of Wands is very visionary. He has kind of like futuristic ideas, and we have Pluto in Aquarius, which is very visionary. So any of your, futuristic visionary ideas are what I would be embracing here. For those of you that want love as well, there could be a fire sign who's interested in you here. We have a Page of Cups, so, not really a love reading, although you do have this Libra card that says new love on it. So, there definitely could be new love. It just doesn't sometimes, I think love just like isn't a major theme. Like it's here, but it's, maybe it's not a big theme. With the Two of Wands, you have the Ten of Swords. He has to let go of his past. He has that wand standing behind him, and it says his past is complete. He is, it's dead, done, over with. He's reaching forward to that new wand, and he has a whole world in his hands. Like, yes, he has to let something go to have something greater. And also, we have the Judgment card. These people have been dead. They are rising up out of their coffins and stepping into a new life. So, it all makes sense to me with the World card. You have the Queen of Pentacles. The Queen of Pentacles is my card of resourcefulness and needing to be resourceful at this time. I've been saying it for years, if we want to do something, we are not going to maybe have the money to do it, but that's the whole point. We have to find a way. So even if you want to build a great business or, just want to live a certain life, it's like maybe you don't have the money, but how can you do it anyway? And people always say like, well, I can't. I want to, move to Fiji and start a surfing school, but I literally can't. I'm like, well, you have to, what's the littlest thing you can do? Can you, maybe that is only that you can learn about it. Maybe that's it, right? Maybe all you can do is educate yourself on how you could do it, right? And the Queen of Pentacles is all about kind of like starting from where you can and then becoming resourceful. Because if you start thinking like that, you'll make it happen. With the King of Cups, you have the Six of Cups. Yeah, very, I like the Six of Cups for new love. I mean, that Libra card says new love on it, so I don't think this is someone from the past with this Six of Cups, but The Six of Cups can be a very childlike, playful connection, something that's more like fun, that's more lighthearted, and yeah, just looks really good. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have the Shooting Star card. It says what you've asked for is coming true, your wish is about to manifest. There you go. Star. You have this new love card. It says a new romantic relationship is unfolding that will be deeply meaningful for you. So yes, for those of you that want a new love, there definitely could be a new love. And again, for the next long stretch of time moving forward, and that doesn't mean you should stop after that point, by the way, but between now and then it's like a very heart-based time for Taurus. So, even if you don't want love, and even if you do, love could be you doing the things that you do love, and I would highly encourage it with those cards. You have the Judgment card, the Page of Cups, and the Nine of Wands. It's kind of like a weird feeling. If you are meeting a person, I feel like you're seeing something that other people don't. It's like I'm not saying this person is sneaky or anything like that, but I just think that you could be attracting a person where people have certain assumptions about them that just aren't true. And so it's like you're almost seeing someone as they truly actually are. And I don't think this person does anything to hide who they are. I just think that people just make assumptions about this person. So, if you are getting into a new connection, I would protect it from other people. It's like sometimes that happens and people are like, oh, why are you with this person? Blah, 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 and they ruin it. So don't let other people ruin it. That definitely popped into my head. For others, I just kind of feel like you're on the right path. I really just see this as confirmation. Normally with the Judgment card, I tell people you have to let go of something because they're still standing in the coffin, but I feel a lot of progress with the King of Wands here. Ten of Pentacles starts like you see very clearly. So, again, I think this is just confirmation for whatever you're doing. You have the Page of Cups. Definitely could be an admirer coming in for you for those of you that want it. We already talked about it. The Page of Cups is also your dream. He has this fish in this cup, and we actually don't know if that fish is real or not. It might be part of his imagination, or it might be his pet, some people say, or it might be real. But the whole point of the fish is that he needs to make sure that that fish doesn't jump into the water behind him and disappear. He needs to grab onto that fish and bring that fish down to earth. And you have right next to it the Ten of Pentacles, the star. The Ten of Pentacles is your ultimate life. The star is having that North Star, having that vision as your focus, and everything you do should point in this direction right here. And that's what I would do with the star. You have the Nine of Wands, definitely the wounded warrior. I mean, really all your readings, Taurus, are about overcoming yourself. It's like, I don't mean this in a mean way, Taurus, but it's like you are your own worst enemy. I think we all are. And so, I think there are a lot of hurts and, challenges and imposter syndrome and maybe reasons why you can't do something. And I feel the Nine of Wands is really encouraging you to put those things in the past and to kind of like work on eliminating self-doubt. And again, if you're having a hard time, there are plenty of great videos on YouTube about eliminating self-doubt, right? So I would go learn how to do it. And I'm just getting something about self-doubt on that Nine of Wands. With the Judgment card, you have the Ace of Swords. Again, more confirmation. Ace of Swords is laser-like focus. It is picking one thing and focusing in on it. So a lot of you clearly have the focus, which is great. Very good reading. Again, this whole period has been surprisingly positive with the readings. So, especially after the energetic shifts happening around now, I'm going to say that moving forward this period could be more focused, more driven. Ace of Swords is also a victory. With the Page of Cups, you have the Knight of Swords. Yeah, just don't rush. I feel, one thing I will say is we have Venus retrograde energy, and we also have a lot of energy that I think is kind of increasing, desire. So if we rush into connections, or, if we kind of don't think about the process, then we could make some mistakes. So if you are meeting a person, take it slow, right? With the Nine of Wands, you have the Knight of Wands. I feel you're ready for adventure. I mean, I really feel like, sure, this could be a person, but I really feel this fiery energy is you. I feel like you're kind of feeling fired up to, go live your dream or, even if it's something small. Even if you just want to build a garden in your backyard, I feel like there's something that you're excited about, or that you're going to be excited about right now. And I would just do whatever the thing is, I would just make it happen. Next, in the area of messages from your future self, you have this Success card and this Protection card. Really good. Yeah, stuff like this always reminds me of that book by Gay Hendricks, The Big Leap. I can't remember, I haven't read it in a long time. I need to read it again, I've been saying this a couple times now. I need to read it again because in that book he says something like, if your life went 110% according to plan, how would you live? What would that look like? And I don't think it's really a question that's meant to be answered. I think it's one of those things where it's like, if you just knew that everything was perfect, what would you do and live your life like that? That's kind of what I got from the book. And I feel that here. It's like, if everything were just perfect and nothing could go wrong, what would you do? And go and do those things, right? And that's what this reading is encouraging. You have the Five of Swords, the Ten of Pentacles, and the Eight of Cups. The Five of Swords is like conflict. It can also represent winning at all costs. I always tell people I like the Five of Swords because to me it always encourages risk-taking, putting yourself out there doing something to win. And so I don't always look at it as a bad thing. And here's the other thing as well. There's a theory that all three guys on this card are the same person, and he has just learned how to win. Like here he lost and he's crying. Here he has learned how to walk away from battle. And here he has learned what it truly means to win. And sometimes winning means losing. Sometimes winning means that you don't get into an argument with a person, even if it means that they think you lost, right? But you just walk away. So that's like one example, and I feel this is very deep, this Five of Swords energy. I feel there are so many things that you've learned that you are applying to your life, and that's probably why you are very focused. You have the Ten of Pentacles. The Ten of Pentacles, again, is everything you want and desire in your life. I do feel like you have to take a risk. I feel like everybody has to do this right now. We are at the end of a long Neptune in Pisces cycle, and Neptune will be moving into Aries, then retrograding back into Pisces for a short period of time before it finally leaves later on. And Neptune in Pisces is the big impossible dream. I literally beg people every single reading to pick something bigger than yourself, pick something that feels impossible and get working. Because if you do it now, if you get started now, then you're working with the energy. And again, you don't have to be perfect. You can make mistakes. You don't have to take a gigantic step either. You can just do small little things to manifest that dream. But, again, it will still take time. It's not going to magically happen all at once. But if you start now with little steps, I can say with pretty strong certainty that if you get started, eventually you will get there. So I think it's a great time to work on our dreams, and it has been for a long time. You have the Eight of Cups. Again, walking away from things that no longer serve you. I feel this is a very strong energy for Taurus. Like there could be certain things that aren't working. And I feel if you're working on things that aren't working, you're going to really struggle, just plain and simple. I feel that not settling and doing things that you actually want to do is what's going to work. And that's what I would do with the Eight of Cups. With the Five of Swords, you have the Five of Cups. Yeah, some of you I feel have experienced kind of like loss, of course. We have the Ten of Swords, Judgment, Five of Swords, Five of Cups. One thing I will say about fixed signs is I feel the fixed signs have been in this energy of wishing things were the way they used to be, without realizing that actually things can get better. So I feel this is encouraging you to realize that life can get better. With the Ten of Pentacles, you have the Judgment card. This is probably something you are revisiting here. With the Ten of Pentacles and the Judgment card, you've probably had a dream for a very long period of time, or, maybe you kind of lost passion for something that you're returning to with this energy, and, I feel, again, it's a dream, probably something you're going to create or work on. And like I said, it doesn't have to be something super fantastic. Could just, like I said, be you building a garden in your backyard. I don't care what it is, but, I think you're kind of like reawakening to possibility here. Because, again, the Ten of Pentacles, I love the Ten of Pentacles, but I think people make it out to be better than it is, kind of like the Wheel of Fortune. I feel the same way about the Wheel of Fortune in the tarot. It's like, yes, it's a good card, but it requires work. Those people don't get the legacy, they've had to build it over time. And I'm not trying to turn you off from working on this, but, with the Judgment card, again, I think you're reawakening to how something could be possible, and I would double down on that energy. I believe energy is fleeting. That's why I think a lot of people come up with ideas, and then they start thinking about all the reasons it's not going to work and they don't do it. Where, if you take advantage of it right away, right when you have the inspiration, you're more likely to do it. And that's kind of what I'm getting there. With the Eight of Cups, you have the Empress. Yes, understanding your own worth. This is you, Taurus, so you are showing up in a very strong position as yourself. And, the Eight of Cups is no longer settling. The Empress definitely doesn't settle. So, I would just keep being in this energy. I think things will go very well for you. Next, in the area of the good stuff, you have this Host card. It says, whether your space is physical or digital, you could find a lot of fulfillment in being a host. You have this Dependent card. It says, you can't fully come into your power if you rely on others for financial support. Queen of Pentacles, right? So, there is a certain level of independence in this reading. King of Wands would be very independent. Of course, the Empress is very independent as well. So I'm not saying that no one's going to help you on your journey, but, maybe you need to get started on your own. Or maybe you are the only person that believes in your star. And, maybe there aren't people in your life to support this vision yet. But that will change when you start the journey. So I feel the star is very important. I also feel it's important with the Empress. The Empress is self-care, the star is hope, faith, and renewal, so renewal being the key word here. If you need a break, take a break. If you need a rest, take a rest, all those other good things. But I would definitely, keep working towards a star. I think if you just take one step towards your goal every single day, before you know it, you will get there. You have the Eight of Swords, and of course the Eight of Swords in the good stuff would say that something is becoming possible. The card itself represents a self-imposed prison and she's kept herself stuck, but in the good stuff it would say that you are seeing other ways of doing things and you are being more flexible, which is great. So, I would just keep being flexible. In the good stuff, this could also say that you're trusting your intuition more. She has a blindfold on, and the blindfolds in tarot represent needing to trust your intuition, so, definitely a very intuitive time. You have the Five of Wands. You have 3 fives. 555 is a big change number as well, so there could be a big change coming in for you. The Five of Wands in the good stuff would be learning from the competition. So, the Five of Wands is competition, but these people are learning. They're using sticks to fight. They're not using swords. So I always say it's a great card for learning from the competition. But in the good stuff, it really strengthens that message of needing to learn from your competition. With the Star card, you have the Queen of Cups here. The Queen of Cups is exactly what we said about following your heart. You always get the Queen of Cups with me, and I'm always saying, follow your heart. So I think that listening to what your heart wants is, pretty much what you have to do at this time. With the Eight of Swords, you have the Page of Pentacles. Okay, this could be a little bit of a kind of, like a little bit of a breakthrough. The Page of Pentacles is a messenger. With the Judgment card, the Page of Pentacles and Judgment card could be you receiving answers. And didn't I think you had a card that said something like this? It said, what you've asked for is coming true. Your wish is about to manifest. But if you've been saying like, I don't know what to do, universe, give me a sign, then I kind of feel that the Page of Pentacles is like a sign, or a message or information that is moving you forward. With the Five of Wands, you have the Four of Wands. The Four of Wands could, of course, be marriage. In this reading, we do see some love, so again, if you're attracting love, it looks good. But the Four of Wands is a card of freedom, which I think you get with me a lot. So a lot of you have been very focused on freedom, or you are focused on creating more freedom, and that's what you could be doing. You have this Flute card. It says disappointment in a friend or a lover. 10 of Swords, Judgment, 5 of Swords, 5 of Cups. I tell people all the time, especially since this Mars retrograde started in Leo, in Leo it's like ego things like that. And, if you have been disappointed with people, I would be careful of those people just in general. You have this Cracked Cup card. It says dissatisfaction in life. I really like this card actually because sometimes I think dissatisfaction is the thing that motivates us to success. So if you have been dissatisfied, it looks like you are correcting your vision and, figuring out how to be satisfied or what satisfaction is for you. And I think that you need to work towards it. You have this Knot card. It says unsuccessful plans. So probably like 10 of Swords, 2 of Wands. 2 of Wands, he is standing, where he has always been and he needs to leave a comfort zone. So, if something isn't working, I would just do something else. It's pretty simple. You have this Diamond card. It says you will be receiving or giving a precious gift. Now, the 6 of Cups to me can be a gift from the universe. Usually the gift we receive from the 6 of Cups is a turnaround. So we've been bumping up against obstacles, Then the Six of Cups comes in and we experience some sort of turnaround. Again, the Judgment card and the Page of Pentacles are kind of saying the same thing to me. I would be paying attention to communications you're receiving. And sometimes, I feel the universe isn't exactly direct. It's like maybe your child says something to you and that kind of is an aha moment, right? And so I would pay attention to like unlikely sources. You have this V card. Says victory in some endeavor. Ace of Swords, 10 of Pentacles, Star, all these amazing cards showing up here. So this is a really good reading, Taurus. I like it. So thank you for being here and definitely enjoy your week.